and I'm a freeholder for District 3. District 3 encompasses the towns of East Orange, Orange, South Orange, and parts of the central and west wards of Newark. In addition to being the freeholder for the third district, I am privileged, and I call it a privilege, to be the representative to NJAC, the New Jersey Association of Counties, representing the Board of Chosen Freeholders for Essex County. I also had a distinct honor and privilege to serve as a past president of that distinguished organization. And the reason I say it's a privilege is because you can't appoint yourself to be the representative. Your colleagues have to trust you to do that. And my colleagues have trusted me to do that. And so I am so grateful for that privilege. I'm always proud when given an opportunity to acknowledge deserving youth who are pursuing their educational goals. We always want to give kudos to scholarship. Tonight we're here because the New Jersey Association of Counties, NJAC Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization affiliated with the Association of Counties, is committed to providing innovative educational opportunities for county vocational and technical school and county college students. The NJAC Foundation, in partnership with Investors Bank and PSC&G Green, are proud to honor and award scholarships to the 3 students here tonight, as well as obviously it's in concert with the Board of Chosen Freeholders. Investors Bank awarded NJAC Foundation a grant of $14,000. So can we hear it? For county vocational school graduates who plan to continue their education at a county or state college. The foundation is in the process of distributing 2 $500 grants in each county where Investors Bank conducts business. Tonight, the 2 students who received this award are here. And I know I was at the opening, John was too. Our clerk is a trustee in the village of South Orange. And that was a wonderful opening when Investors opened up right across from Village Borough Hall. And of course there's Investors in East Orange, and they are present and accounted for. Before I go any further, however, I'm going to bring up the gentleman that is our leader at NJAC. He is the guy who handles the day-to-day. He handles the staff. He goes out and is our biggest cheerleader. You know, he tells people, he carries the story of NJAC and what we do and why county government is important. So would you please put your hands together and give a really big Essex County welcome to the Executive Director of NJAC, Mr. John Donadio.
Thank you. That was a great introduction. I think as I travel around the state, I'm going to ask Freeholder Clark to come with me. And by the way, Freeholder Clark was my favorite NJAC president in all the years that I've been with the organization. I just want to take a minute to thank you, Freeholder Clark, for inviting me to participate in today's ceremony. And of course, Freeholder President Watson. It's something that I enjoy doing more than any of the other responsibilities that I have at NJAC. I also want to take a minute to thank PSC&G and Investors Bank for their generosity and commitment to the communities in which they serve. Over the past 3 years, these 2 companies have donated close to $100,000 to over 148 county technical school graduates continuing their education at state or county college or university. So they deserve, they're not here today, they couldn't make it, but they deserve a tremendous amount. And then of course, I want to congratulate all of their students, and I know that Freeholder Clark is going to read off their names in a minute. for their hard work and commitment to their education, and wish them the best of luck, and they've done a terrific job in laying the foundation for becoming very successful adults and professionals. So congratulations, and thank you again for the platform.
You're going to hear more from this young lady as we go further into the program, but every organization has a leader. I indicated to you that the New Jersey Association of Counties has a wonderful leader, Mr. John Donadio. Well, the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, and we're joined this evening right now by Freeholder Leonard Luciano, who, by the way, is an educator par excellence in the Newark school districts, and we know he would not have missed this for the world. We have a wonderful leader. We're blessed with a great leader. Just the right amount of give and take, just the right amount of push and pull, just the right amount of, you know, toughness, but gentleness. The kind of wisdom and acumen that you need to lead 9 probably type A personalities and make sure that the county's business gets done. So won't you give a warm welcome for her introductory remarks, and then you're going to hear from her a little bit later toward the end. Our leader, our president, one of the very few women to lead a Board of Chosen Freeholders in the state of New Jersey, the Honorable Blonnie Watson, President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders.
That we receive the NJAC Foundation Scholarship Awards. But before I move forward, just let me thank the Investors Bank, because they didn't have to do it, PSEG, PESG Green. We want to thank you because you really didn't have to make sure that NJAC received the awards, the scholarship award donations, in order for us to make sure that our young people, we are able to give these scholarships. So with that being said, let me acknowledge the county exec representative from Essex County. We have with us the county administrator and the deputy administrator with us. And we want you to make sure you tell the county exec we missed him this evening, because he loves youth. That's what he's been doing all his life. He always worked with the young people in Essex County, and that's why he's so famous for his parks, because of making sure that young people in Essex County have what they need to make themselves better citizens. So with that being said, I'm not going to hold the program up. I want to just again congratulate all the honorees who will be receiving the award this evening. And it's my understanding that one of them won't be with us because she's away in college, but we will also recognize the young lady at the, after we give the other 2 awards. So again, thank you for accepting me, having me here. And John, I don't know what we'll do without you. You are the greatest. Something about NJAC I really, really love. I don't attend the meetings, and Carol represents us well, and she's at all of the meetings, and she makes sure she come back with all the great news that you have for NJAC and all the participation that you do each and every day in the state of New Jersey to assist the counties in helping to make good decisions. So again, thank you.
Watson's going to stay here as we begin the presentation, but just before we do, Ms. Watson, I'm going to ask the gentleman who is our county administrator. As you know, this year county administrators are taking a more integral role, having a more integral part in NJAC in terms of on the executive board and the like, and so I can foresee this gentleman here bringing his business acumen to the forefront very, very soon. But as you know, or you may not know, Joseph DiVincenzo, the Honorable Joseph DiVincenzo, our county executive, was also a past president of NJAC. To my knowledge, John, I think Essex County has been fortunate to have 4 presidents over the years. The first gentleman I can't remember, Pearl Beatty was the first one I can remember, Joseph DiVincenzo, and then of course myself. But the gentleman that is at the helm for county administration here, and who you can call at any time and get a response, and is the consummate professional. Ralph Chilella, would you say a few words on behalf of the county executive, our county administrator, Mr. Ralph Chilella?
Carol, I think I'm going to take you on that road trip as well. Just to be very brief, the county executive really wanted to be here this evening because Carol's absolutely right. His love is youth, and he would really love to be here. He's got other prior engagements that he could not get away from, but he wanted me to extend his congratulations to not only the students, their family, as well as the school, the students, teachers, their counselors, and their administrative staff, because truly it's everyone working together for success, and the county executive recognizes that. He just wants to offer his congratulations to the students who are receiving these scholarships this evening. Thank you.
While I'm not going to ask him to come up to speak, I am going to ask him to just stand up and wave to you, because you have 2 consummate professionals, your county administrator and your assistant county administrator, and the person in charge of that portion and personnel functions. That's Mr. Alan Abramowitz. Alan.
Thank you, Carol.
We're also joined by our vice president, and she is a retired English teacher, and when it comes to education, she is right there with our president, and never missing, and always supportive. As a matter of fact, at one point in her career, she served on the board of education for the vocational schools, and on their board of school estimates. So she is a fearless and tireless advocate for education, and that's Patricia Seabold, our vice president. Well, now is the time that we've all been waiting for, right? I think we've got some money to give out, right, John? All right, so come on down. Now's the time I can act like it's the game show. All right. The first recipient is Christian Gomez. Christian? Where are you? Come on, make your way down. As Christian comes forward, let me tell you a little something about him. Christian Gomez graduated from the Essex County West Caldwell Vocational Technical School in June 2013. While a student at West Caldwell Vocational Technical School, Christian Gomez was a member of the soccer and volleyball teams and served as co-captain of the soccer team. Christian was one of the first students inducted into the West Caldwell Vocational Technical School's National Honor Society. Let's hear it. He served as vice president of the senior class and graduated with honors, maintaining a 3.7 GPA throughout high school. Institute of Technology, NJIT, to major in mechanical engineering. He is described as a most respectful young man who displays commitment and dedication. Will you all please join me in congratulating Mr. Christian Gomez? There is a little check in here, Christian, and it is in the amount of $500 from the NJAC Foundation and investors, and you have a certificate that acknowledges your dedication to academic excellence and distinguished scholastic achievement, and you also have a resolution which we've already read. And so, Christian Gomez, we salute you.
I really didn't have a speech ready, so I would just like to thank all the representatives for acknowledging our scholastic achievements. And as a student, it's often easy to feel unappreciated, and I'm really thankful for being appreciated and given this award to continue my academic career. That's it. Thank you.
Christian, before you sit down, I think there's somebody who's probably the love of your life out there, isn't it? No? Is somebody, did anybody come? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, I thought there was somebody out there, the love of your life. Why don't you introduce her?
That's my mom, Julia.
Christian's principal, Mr. Singh, is in the back. Mr. Singh, will you stand up and take a bow? Also, the principal of Bloomfield Tech, who also has a student that's going to be awarded, Mr. Love, would you please stand up and take a bow? Okay. Our next honoree, Arlene Toribio. Did I pronounce it right, Arlene? Is it Toribio? I got it right. All right. Okay. I'm going to share a little bit about Arlene. Arlene graduated from Essex County West Caldwell Vocational Technical School in June 2013. While a student at West Caldwell Vocational Technical School, Arlene Toribio demonstrated involvement and dedication throughout her educational years. She participated in the work-study program, which offers students opportunities to enhance coursework and better prepare for continued education and for meaningful employment. Real-life job sites are arranged, enabling students to experience hands-on training. Arlene was a member of the cheerleading and volleyball teams and served as captain of the cheerleading team. Arlene excelled in the culinary arts program at West Caldwell Vocational Technical Schools and earned recognition while competing in ProStar. Her skills in that competition won her second and third prizes. Arlene plans to attend Montclair State University in the fall, where she will continue her education in the culinary arts. Please join me in congratulating Arlene Toribio. Arlene, I am waiting with bated breath for the restaurant, okay? Because I know that if you're going into the culinary arts, you're going to go in with an eye towards business. So we're looking forward to it, some things to please the palate. You'll know this gentleman over here made sure that all of the vocational schools the chefs, we've got them. So Arlene, I'm waiting. I'm ready to go. You two have a check. We'll get that out of the way right away, okay? And you also have a certificate in recognition of your dedication and a resolution. And madam, the microphone is yours.
Thank you. I'm extremely honored to receive this award. Thank you everyone for being here. Both my parents are here and my little sister. Oh, this is the microphone. They're back there. It might come off as a disappointment, but I changed my major at Montclair State. I'm going to do a 6-year program for physical therapy, 3 years there and 3 years at UMDNJ. So, I want to just thank you.
Let's hear it again. Well, you know, vocational and technical schools have changed. You know, things have, they've grown. The technology aspects, the green jobs aspects, so many things, and they're doing such a wonderful job. And I can say that during this last 12 years that I've been involved anyway as a freeholder, I've seen our vocational and technical schools really take off. They are nationally recognized as a leader in cutting edge technologies. They're attracting some of the brightest and most talented students in Essex County. And I just want to salute them once again for the wonderful job they're doing, and actually for being named, I believe, Blue Ribbon School in the state of New Jersey. Let's hear it for our vocational school. Well, finally, last but not least, another partner in this NJAC Foundation Scholarship Award is PSE&G Green. PSE&G awarded NJAC Foundation, Mrs. Nadia indicated it, $12,000 for vocational school graduates who plan to study environmental science, green designs, green technology, alternative energy, or other related subjects at a county or state college. So let's hear it for PSE&G. You know, you can't forget their slogan when it says, "We bring good things to life." Well, they do. They do. They take some hits, but they also deliver. And so they're big enough to take the hits and then come back and try to do better. And for that, we're eternally grateful. We're also joined right now, by the way, by Freeholder Rufus Johnson, who is also a fierce advocate. The foundation is distributing one $650 grant in each county where PSE&G maintains service. This year's county, Essex County recipient is Isamar Cortez. Isamar? Well, let me tell you a little bit about Isamar. She graduated also in June 2013 from Bloomfield Vocational Technical School. While at Essex County Bloomfield Vocational Technical School, Isamar demonstrated involvement and dedication. In her sophomore years, she became interested in the world of sustainability. Sustainable energy, right? Okay. She credits her teacher, Todd Menadier, with inspiring her to pursue this field and in learning how to think outside the box. created a completely recycled electric guitar, which was made from used parts. Isamar excelled at the Green Energy Academy, which was developed in conjunction with PSE&G, and focuses on issues surrounding energy sources and technologies that influence how energy is harnessed, processed, maintained, and distributed. Students in the Academy gain an awareness of the environmental, economic, political, and social impacts of current energy usage and alternatives to the current models. Students are prepared and encouraged to enroll in career opportunities arising in the green energy field. Isamar plans to attend Montclair State University in the fall, where she will continue her education in sustainable science. Please, let's hear it for Isamar Cortez. Once again, there's a check-in here, and this is for you from PSE&G in the amount of $650. We're looking forward to, I don't know whether it's wind or what you want to do, or biodiesel, or the soy, the corn stuff, all that stuff. Whatever it is, I know you got your finger on the pulse of it, because that's what you young people do. You know that stuff backwards and forwards. So we're counting on you, okay? All right. She's got a certificate here in recognition of her dedication, and also a resolution. Let's hear it once again.
How are you guys this evening? Good? Good. You guys good? All right, awesome. Okay, well, first I'd really like to thank my parents, because without them, back there, mom and dad, pushing me to do schoolwork and not watch TV or play video games, I probably wouldn't be receiving this award today. And thank you, Mr. Love, for accepting me, because without you and me going to Bloomfield Tech, I probably wouldn't be here either. And to Mr. Menadier, who got me into green energy.
Well, I told you you would hear more from her toward the end of the program. And before I close it out, I'm going to bring our president up once again, just to talk a little bit about our initiatives on this board, and how supportive we are with all of our educational institutions.
Very good, and thank you again, Carol. Just let me say congratulations to all of our honorees and to our recipients this evening. We are so proud of you. You know, it's nothing better than being able to say to our young people in Essex County that we are proud. And I know the parents, you are proud. So just have all the parents to stand up for me. You know, even when we have talented young people, individuals, we still need good guidance and family guidance and parent intervention. So I know by the students that we gave the awards to this evening that you have a lot to do with where they are today. And we want to thank you in behalf of the entire Essex County for all that you do each and every day with the young person that you're raising. And we know you're going to be proud of them as they enter their new profession and graduate from the colleges of their desire with the talent that they have. We probably, I'm like Carol, I don't know, we probably see some of these names in the future. I can watch my Channel 12 program, and I'm going to see some of the same names as you progress over during the next couple of years. So just let me say about the Board of Chosen Freeholders. A couple of years ago, Carol and I, we always talk about our youth, and we didn't honor our youth. And each year now we have what we used to call it, what, Gary? We changed the name, Kids Care, but now we call it Essex County Celebrates Youth. And that's because we felt, we just wanted to let our youth and the young people in Essex County know we love them and we're here for them. So as we continue to move forward, Carol, we will continue. I hope when we leave the Freeholder Board that the tradition will continue. We will carry out the tradition of honoring our youth each and every year. And we hope, John, you're there forever so you can bring the dollars back to Essex County so that we can give the scholarships. So again, on behalf of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, all of the Freeholder members that's here, we want to thank all of you for coming and being a part of this celebration this evening.
Well, this brings this to a close, but John, I'm going to ask you to join me here and just help me close out. Once again, you've done it. The foundation has done it. I don't know whether you want to just share just a tidbit, a little tad about the foundation, so people kind of get an idea of what it's all about.
Before I do that, I will say that I travel across the state and I visit every county, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in Essex County. This is the best ceremony for granting or giving these awards away that I've been to. So you guys do a fantastic job, and I really appreciate the enthusiasm and the support and all the kind words as well. But really, the NJAC Foundation, as Freeholder Clark said before, we're a nonprofit organization that is committed to providing innovative educational opportunities to county vocational technical school graduates. And we've really tried to ramp that up over the past couple of years and showcase our county vocational technical schools. I know that they have their own association and they have a fantastic executive director, Judy Savage, and we work very closely together. But whenever we hold an event, we make sure that we invite a county vocational technical school student to sing the national anthem at our year-end conference. We started 2 years ago the County Vocational Technical School Cook-Off Challenge, where we have 11 of the county votecs across the state are invited to compete for titles and taste and creativity. It's just a fantastic experience and was a home run for everyone involved, our organization and all the students. But again, the foundation is just committed to showcasing the vocational technical schools and providing you with innovative opportunities in terms of resources. And we look to continue to do this for the foreseeable future. And I thank you again for the opportunity to be here and for putting on a terrific ceremony. I loved it. Thank you.
Well, certainly we couldn't do it without our staff, and staff is here today. And Gary, you always do a phenomenal job. And Lillian is over there making sure everything's recorded. Jerry's over there making sure that by the way, this does get broadcast. So other people will see you on television and know that this happened today, and that's a really good thing. And of course, Glenn is over there, and he's making sure that it's captured on film for posterity.
Also, the clerk.
So, pardon? You're talking. Oh, yes. There's no. Well, I kind of mentioned our clerk earlier, but I'm going to mention her again. The reason I'm mentioning her again is not even for her. It's for somebody who's not here, but that she's awfully proud of. We should congratulate her as well as her daughter, because her daughter graduated with honors from Georgetown University this year. Our clerk, Deborah Davis Ford, and her daughter, Rachel Ford. So you do a phenomenal job making sure that we look good. So I can't thank you enough for all that you do. Well, without further ado, we're going to bring all of the recipients back up and their families for a photo session. And I'm also going to ask our clerk and our freeholders to please come up and get into that photo as well. So, and obviously Mr. Donadio. So would you please, and Mr. Chilela and Mr. Brown, you want to invite you? So, and Mr. Love and
Meeting called to order. Will please stand for the salute to the flag. Freeholder Johnson, will you lead us in the salute? Remain standing for a moment of silence, and while we are standing, please remember those that we lost 12 years ago with the terrorist attack. And for the last 12 years, we come to a special place in Eagle Rock that the county and our county exec made sure that we had a place to go that was serene, where we could mourn and remember. So we want this evening to just take a moment of silence to remember those that we lost 12 years ago. Thank you. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Public Meetings Act. A roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark.
Here.
Freeholder Gill, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Present.
Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Siebel.
Here.
Freeholder President Watson.
Here. Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any transcripts to be approved?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, then, Madam Clerk, let's go to the public comment session. At this time, I would like to advise the public that tonight is a combined conference board meeting, and we will vote on every item on the agenda. So if there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any agenda item, please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. You can speak on any agenda item at this time. Okay, Madam Clerk, there's no one from the public who wishes to speak at this time. Madam Clerk, let's bring up any member of the public who would like to comment on any issue. You can come and comment on any issue at this time. Please come to the microphone. And please state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Jack McAvoy, 20 Montclair Avenue in Verona. I'm coming before you to ask a number of questions surrounding a proposal currently being held by Verona Planning Board. Is this board aware of an application for 176-200 Bloomfield Avenue, right across from Ann and Flag and adjacent to Everett Field, which would entail the stripping of 1.52 acres of topsoil, removal of over 100 trees, and then the removal of 30,000 cubic yards or 45,000 tons of rock via blasting. We were told this excavation would take approximately 90 working days or 4.5 months, weather permitting, and include rock blasting 5 to 7 times per day, as close as 10 feet from at least 3 residential homes, and too many others to count that all fall within OSHA's 1,000-foot blast zone, many of which are nearing 100 years old. So what I am asking is, are you aware that with this much excavation, there will be a mining or quarry operation on Bloomfield Avenue, and that much of this blasting will be taking place right on the avenue, causing traffic closures multiple times per day? Though the blasting will front Bloomfield Avenue, this property extends 300 feet back into surrounding residential backyards, side yards, and front yards. People will not be able to go outside. And will people have to vacate or leave their homes if they are deemed too close to the blasting? Everett Field, home to hundreds of children throughout 10 months of sports, is merely across the street. There are 2 elementary schools that are within 800 and 1,400 feet of the site. And with school and sports in full session, there are children everywhere. Utilities. PSE&G has a major 10-inch or 12-inch gas line running under the westbound side of Bloomfield Avenue. A 4-inch gas line runs down Westview Road, and electric lines both over and under Bloomfield Avenue. Water, waste, sewer, all those pipes are there. What does PSE&G do to protect these lines during blasting? Do they allow blasting that close to major utility lines? And how long do these utility lines get shut down? During colder months, can they shut down the gas mains? If they're ruptured during colder months, do they have to shut them down? Are you aware that one of the most trafficked intersections in Essex County is the closest intersection to this proposed project? The intersection of county
Excuse
roads.
me, you have 30 seconds. Could
Okay.
you please sum up? And if you're
Okay,
not
I am.
finished, you can always come back at the
I
end.
most-
I'll call on you again.
Thank you very much.
You're quite
The intersection is Bloomfield Avenue, Mount Prospect, and Route 23. The last DOT traffic count at this intersection was April of 2008, where in a 13-hour period, 41,000 cars passed through. Are you aware that accidents in this stretch of Bloomfield Avenue have more than doubled from between 2006
Okay,
and
excuse me.
2012?
Your 3 minutes is up.
Okay?
Your 3 minutes is up.
One death occurring during that time. That was it.
Thank you. And thank you for your comments. What we normally do with this Freeholder Board, we will respond to your questions. If you have the information in writing, someone from our office will take that, and
Okay.
we will respond to you in writing
you
within the
very
next
much.
week.
And I
And
just
thank
look-
you again for your comments.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
understand
No,
our
I'm
freeholder
sorry.
is Luciano.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Your 3 minutes is up. Thank you so much for your comments, and we will respond. Thank you. Yes, your name and affiliation, and you have
Jessica
3 minutes to
Pearson,
speak.
Verona, New Jersey. How will an invasive and dangerous project of this scale affect traffic in our area when stoppages must occur throughout each day? How would it affect emergency vehicles that use Bloomfield Avenue to get to Mountainside or St. Barnabas, or to fires, or just the regular commuter, or the whole bus pattern? How will drivers who self-divert affect the safety of every resident and child in our neighborhoods? Environmentally, how will this affect the air we breathe, the dust, the noxious chemicals? My neighbors are asking me, can we garden next year? Can we grow our own tomatoes? The leaching of those same noxious chemicals into our untreated storm drain systems, which flow directly into the Peckman River. Speaking of storm drains, they are directly under Bloomfield Avenue and are extremely aged. Will their structural integrity hold up after months and months of blasting? Currently, during heavy rainstorms, we get floods at the bottom of Westview Road where it intersects Bloomfield Avenue. How will this system handle water after the excavation, the removal of all those trees, the soil, and paved? It's one thing to utilize blasting at a remote site like the Hilltop because you're doing something inherently beneficial for an entire community, or even if a neighbor wants a small pool in their yard, but it's quite another thing that this same blasting will be employed to basically form a rock quarry, strip the land of all of its natural resources to cram an oversized building into an undersized, unfit lot. It will only benefit one person, and that is the developer. This brings havoc, danger to a very peaceful and very well-established residential neighborhood and a major county road that serves as the major thoroughfare through our county. Why should we have to fight to protect our property, our health, and our safety? It seems to me that basic precepts of municipal land use law are being completely ignored. Those being to encourage development which will promote the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. To secure safety from fire, flood, panic, and other natural disasters and man-made disasters. To ensure the development and general welfare of neighboring municipalities, the county, and the state as a whole. And lastly, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, regions, as well as the preservation of our environment. Thank you.
And thank you so much for your comments. As I stated earlier, all of your questions will be answered to the best of our ability. I know we're talking about a lot of issues with PSE&G, but we will respond to you, and if necessary, we have a follow-up. So I can understand your concerns in your community. Thank you. Well, you can leave that with the gentleman so we'll be able to answer the questions. And for the record, Madam Clerk, Freeholder Guild is present. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak at this time? Okay, please come to the microphone.
Good evening, my name is Mary Purcell.
Just one moment. He's going to adjust the mic for you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Mary Purcell. I live at 15 West Hollywood Road.
Okay, could you just speak into the mic? And I have to say that you have 3 minutes to speak while you're at the mic.
Okay.
You
My name
speak
is-
directly into the mic so we can record you, okay? Thank
Okay.
you.
My name is Mary Purcell. I live at 15 Westview Road in Verona, New Jersey. My home sits right on the property line of this proposed development. My house is a very small bungalow, and they will be blasting typically right outside my window for 4 or 5 months. The noise, the dirt, the inconvenience, I won't be able to put a radio on to sit on my deck, which faces that exact property. I'm concerned about the safety of my home. Because when they're blasting right outside my window, 30 feet down, I find it hard to believe that that blasting is not going to affect the rock that my house sits on. And even though temporarily nothing would happen, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, if my foundation becomes destroyed, if my house collapses, if the windows break, who's going to be responsible? And who can live under that kind of a condition for that amount of time? This is 2 years of my rights being abused, and why, I feel that his should come before mine. Those are my objections, and I hope somebody would take them into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And what we will do, we'll see exactly, we have the administration to look into that to see how much, what is it that the county can do. It might be a municipal issue because they are blasting in the municipality also, but we will respond to you
Thank you
to
very
let you
much.
know exactly where the county can assist you, if any, at all.
I appreciate it.
And thank you again for bringing
very
your
much.
concerns before this board.
Okay, then.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anyone else from the public who would like to speak? No one else, but we want the residents that came to the mic prior, we want you to know that we hear your concerns, but we need to look into it before we respond. That's the policy of this board, but we certainly will respond to you to give you some directions, okay? Thank you again for coming. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? If not, Madam Clerk, let's move to, do we have any topics of discussion?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, then, let's move to the public hearing. Madam Clerk, ordinance number O-2013-00010, please read it.
Ordinance number O 2013-00010, authorization to amend ordinance number O 1987-00019 as amended for the year 2013 fee schedule for county parks and recreational facilities.
I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00010 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, there's no one present to speak for or against this ordinance. Mr. Polyvecchio, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't have any questions or comments. The administration did go through the changes and the proposed amendments to the fee schedule when this was on first reading and introduction. But if any, I don't have any additional questions that weren't answered at that time.
Okay. Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, freeholders, do you have any questions or comments? Okay, freeholders, do I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00010? Motion, Freeholder Gill, motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it, Madam President.
Second by Freeholder Luciana. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance? Do I?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebald.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00011. Please read it.
Public hearing on ordinance number O 2013-00011, ordinance naming the 14th floor conference room in the Essex County Leroy Smith Jr. Public Safety Building as the Sheila Oliver Conference Center in honor of the New Jersey Assembly Speaker Sheila Y. Oliver.
I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00011 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone and state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, there's no one present to speak for or against this ordinance. Mr. Polyvecchio, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
Freeholders, do you have any questions or comments? No questions or comments, freeholders. Do I have a motion and second to close the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00011?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Gill. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebald.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, we move to resolution number 1. Read it, please, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 1, resolution accepting the 2012 county audit as prepared by Samuel Klein and Company. General comments and recommendations.
Okay, this ordinance is for acceptance. Ralph, you want to explain the ordinance? I'm sorry, the resolution?
Yes, Madam President. I believe it's this is the board's resolution accepting the county's audit prepared by Samuel Klein, and the administration has responses. I have Norm, our treasurer, our chief financial officer, that can further go into this matter. If I can call him up to the microphone.
Yes. Is he here?
They must have stepped out, Madam President.
Okay, but Mr. McInerney, while we're waiting.
Yes, I would like to say that, just preface that I've gone through the audit and discussed today with Mr. Acker from the administration, Mark Acker. We both went through it, kind of looking at some of the highlights of the past performance for 2012 to see the financial position of the county, where we stand from 2011 to 2012. We also discussed what's happening to some degree in 2013's budget. But to get to the point here, let me tell you that in 2012, the county was able to increase its fund balance from $26 million to $37 million, which is a significant increase in the county's fund balance, and one of the integral parts of the formula to get our bond ratings up, as well as also to secure a little more security for the county. As I said in the past, we do have revenues that are based on contracts that the county has with the federal government. My concern has always been that those contracts, although there's no reason to believe that they won't be around for a significant period of time, if they are ever terminated, the county would find itself in a very vulnerable position from a financial standpoint. And although this $37 million sounds like a significant amount, I firmly believe we need to increase that to something closer to $50 million. And I think the administration and the county executive, I spoke to this back years ago, and that's always been a goal. So that in mind, we are making progress for that. The results of operations for 2012 were $15 million. And that's significant positive excess revenues over our appropriations. So that's a very positive number. We also increased our cash position by over $40 million. And partly because, from what I can see, is there was a significant amount of grants receivable that were paid down during the course of the year. Our grant receivable balance went from $90 million down to $65 million, which means that we were paid down a significant amount of receivables. Since the grant fund utilizes the cash in the current fund, that reimbursed the current fund and increased our cash from $56 million last year to $96 million this year. So, in moving into the capital account, it was interesting to see that although our bands have increased, our general obligation bonds decreased by over $26 million last year. And again, that's a very positive thing. What we're saying is, over the years, the county's been able to utilize monies from Open Space Trust, monies from Green Acres, monies from private enterprise in order to do our capital funding. I mean, we're looking at ordinances today where we're using our capital account for a significant part of the educational center at the zoo. So that said, we're still making great progress, I think, with regard to attempting to get our debt under control by way of our self-imposed $20 million of authorizations per year. As I said before, I discussed this with Mr. Acker. He feels positive about the situation with the county. With regard to compliance from the audit, we've only had 3 recommendations, which I think is exemplary. There's been a tightening of controls and things of that nature. That's not to say there's not other issues, smaller immaterial issues, but there's only 3 items in the audit for comment, which means there are 3 material items that need to be addressed. But again, given the size of the county, the budget, the number of transactions that we do, the number of personnel we have, the various departments, that is certainly an achievement. So again, I wanted the audits, I believe every member of the board has got a copy of the audit. I urge you to look at it, and I think that the numbers reflect a tremendous amount of positive fiscal impact on the county for 2012. We hope that carries forward for 2013 as well.
Very good. Before I ask for questions, Freeholder Clark, we have not had a finance meeting this year, and I think this is the appropriate time since we have received the audit. And would you just contact the clerk's office through me and have them to set that meeting up? Even though we're hearing a positive review, and that's good, it's still our duty to, after reviewing the audit, that we have the finance meeting just in case there's some questions that we need to ask. Okay, Freeholder Seabold.
Thank you very much. I've been a freeholder long enough that I remember when we used to have a page or 2 of recommendations, and I'm sure that Frank McInerney remembers those recommendations when we would sit here and have to go through so many. So it's so pleasing to see that we only have 3 recommendations, as you indicated. I do have one question, though. The second one is a repeat from last year. Is there anything we ought to know about that, why it's repeated?
All I can tell you is that it has been repeated, and it hasn't been resolved, so that if that's what it's saying here,
yes.
It's something that needs to be addressed, and I know Mr. Acker is working on trying to, he will come before us with the corrective action plan, is what he told me yesterday. He's working on that, and we'll be able to address that to him.
Then we'll find out the reason.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam President.
Freeholder Clark.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Madam President, very insightful. You already mentioned what I was going to ask you for, so there's no need for me to reiterate that. The only thing I would like for us to also do is to go over that corrective action plan. That would be an excellent opportunity for us to go over all of that, because if it's something that was repeated and we still haven't figured it out, then we need to understand why we haven't figured it out.
Absolutely. Okay, very good. So, Madam Clerk, would you please get with Freeholder Clark to schedule that meeting?
Yes,
that's not a committee of the whole, that's a special committee. Is that committee of the whole?
I believe That's the committee of the whole. I'll tell you 1 second, I have the committee list right here.
If not, we need to make that a committee of the whole if we're dealing with the yearly audit. Itineraries.
Is that called finance oversight?
Yes,
committee?
oversight.
It's
A committee as a, okay, Freeholder Clark, I was correct. That is the committee of a whole, it is the committee of the whole, and we will have the entire Freeholder Board present at your meeting. Okay? Very good. Okay, now, additional question, comments, Freeholders? Do we have a mover and second, motion and second to take Resolution 1?
I'll move it, Madam President.
Moved by Freeholder Luciana. Do I have a second? I'll second it. So we can move on with it. I have a mover and second. Discussion on the motion. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark,
Yes.
Freeholder Gill,
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson,
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano,
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebal,
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take resolutions 2, 3 together. You want to read it into the record?
Resolution 2, Office of the Sheriff's contract with Infosys Incorporated to implement a modification to the Integrated Law Enforcement Initiative project amount not to exceed $47,024 grant funding. Resolution 3, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, sub-grant agreement with East Orange General Hospital to provide the county's special transportation services to senior and disabled residents May 1st, 2013 through December 31st, 2013, amount not to exceed $663,671.
Okay, Mr. Scheller, will you explain both of the resolutions?
Yes, Madam President. Resolution 2 is a modification out of a grant-funded program. This will improve the communications between the reporting systems of Essex County law enforcement agencies, and specifically enables the prosecutor's office to request and obtain all case-related files and reports in compressed and secure electronic format. Resolution 3 is for our Senior Citizens Transportation Program. This program is for our seniors and disabled residents. It allows them access to non-emergency medical services transportation for dialysis, including evening and Saturdays for therapy, competitive and non-competitive employment, food shopping, nutrition sites, post-secondary education, and social and recreational activities.
I see you have,
Ms. DeVore, yes.
Ms. DeVore, Mr. DeVore, will you please come to the microphone? When we see anytime you mention seniors for Essex County, you have to think of Jackie. Okay, would you just give us, I know Ralph gave us an explanation, but give us a little more information on that, please.
Okay, my name is Jacqueline DeVore. I'm the Director of the Essex County Division of Senior Services. And as such, special transportation is part of the services that we provide for Essex County residents 60 and above, and adults age 18 and above who are disabled. Last year in August and September, we went out to RFP for special transportation, and in both of those endeavors, we did not receive any responses. And part of the reason is because transportation, as you know, over the years has been losing funding. Most of the funding comes from the New Jersey casino revenue. And since the recession and casino revenues falling off quite a bit, we've lost about 150% of our funding in the past 5 years, almost 30% every year. And so because of that, we believe we cannot be very, very competitive, especially with large transportation agencies. However, our transportation has been run for the last couple of years by East Orange General Hospital, and they decided last year, because of a lot of different things, not to respond to the RFP. In September, when we did not receive an additional, no one responded, we met with the administration, and we decided that what we would do is try to regroup, try to put everything together again, and go out to RFP early in the year. However, we asked for and were granted an emergency to allow East Orange General to continue the contract for the first 4 months of the year. They did that. We went back out to RFP in February, and East Orange General responded for the rest of the year. That brings us to this point, and this is this part of the contract, because the first part of the contract, we came to you earlier this year and requested that you respond to the emergency. You did, and now this is the last 8 months of the year where we're putting the contract together for East Orange General.
Okay, don't sit down because I'm
Okay.
sure you will probably have some questions.
Okay.
Freeholders, Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
I don't, Madam President.
Okay. You have any questions about that? Okay. Okay, Freeholder, you have question, comments at this time? Freeholder, oh, Luciana, did you reach out?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, Madam President.
Question, comments, Freeholders? No questions? And no comments? Well, Jackie, Ms. DeVore, you really explained it. There's no questions, so we don't, I mean, your explanation was excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's no reason for us to ask any questions. So again,
you.
thank you for coming and giving us the additional information that we need.
Thank you, Madam
And
Chair.
for the record, Madam Clerk, Freeholder Beasley is present. At this time, Freeholders, may I have a motion and second to take Resolution 3? I'm sorry, 2 and 3. Resolution 2 and 3, a mover and second. Moved by Freeholder Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Second by Freeholder Luciana. We have a mover and second to take Resolutions 2 and 3 together. No further discussion on the motion. We will vote. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Freeholder Beasley? Yes. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Resolution 4 withdrawn by the administration. We'll move to Resolution 5, 6, and Madam Clerk, let's take 29 and 7.
29 and
And 8. No, okay, let me start all over again. Let's take 5 and we'll stop. 5, 6, we'll go to Resolution 29 because it's related to 7, and Resolution 7, and let's stop there. Okay, Ralph?
Yes, Madam President. Resolution 5 is a authorization to utilize the Open Space Trust Fund to fund the down payment for the Essex County Pool Government Loan Program for the construction of the Essex County Educational Center and entry plaza to Turtleback Zoo in the amount of $135,000. This down payment is for the $2.8 million loan that this board had approved under bond ordinance 0213000009. Resolution number 6, again, authorization to utilize the Essex County Open Space Trust Fund to fund partial funding for the Turtleback Zoo Educational Center and Entry Plaza in the amount of $750,000. And resolution number 7 is the actual contract award to Bismarck Construction Corporation, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the construction of the educational center at Turtleback Zoo. The time frame for this project is roughly 300 contract days in the amount of $7,553,000. I would like to point out that this is a PGLP project that we've signed on with the unions. The vendor is present with us this evening, and just to give you a brief overview of the educational building, it will consist of 4 educational classrooms with the ability to open up into one large event space, sustainable design elements that include a waterless urinals, renewable and low maintenance materials. There'll be ticket windows for admittance into our Turtleback Zoo, as well as office space. There'll also be animal holding areas. There'll be an indoor and outdoor animal exercise pen. As I had mentioned, there are some administrative offices. There is some retail space that's been allocated out of the facility or for the building, an outdoor plaza, an event space for roughly 150 people. There is also a portal, another point of entry into the zoo, handicap accessibility, and will also enable buses to unload and load, thereby alleviating the congestion at the main entranceway into Turtleback Zoo. If the board so wishes, I'd like to call up the... I'm sorry, 29 I should do, Madam President. I forgot 29. 29 is the other insertion of revenue for this project. This is an amount of $250,000, and this is coming from the Zoological Society, that their portion will help fund the entire project of for the educational building at the zoo. So, Madam President, we actually have a number of sources to fund this project, primarily the PGLP loan program from the ECIA, the 2013 capital funding account, open space trust funding, and finally, Zoological Society will contribute also to this project the amount of $250,000, and the administration has already scheduled a repayment of that $2.8 million over a 5-year period.
Okay, Madam Clerk, you can read 5, 6, 29, and 7 into the record at a later time. Okay, you want to bring the contractor?
Quick
this
question
one?
before the...
Yes. Freeholder Polyvecchio.
Mr. Chilella...
Mr. Polyvecchio.
I knew who you meant. The other guy wasn't here. Mr. Chilella, just a quick question. You said there's a plan in place, I'm referring to Resolution 5, on the PGLP, a 5-year repayment plan is in place?
That is correct.
To pay that $2.8 million, okay. One issue, just housekeeping, on the front page of that resolution, it still lists Mr. Abaleo as the CFO. As much as we love him, I know that's not...
We will make the necessary corrections. Thank you.
Oh, the other thing, on number 7, I think we were so happy with the PGLP. You referred to the project labor agreement. You meant PLA on the contract that's being, just because I know everybody when we have a PLA, everybody wants to know about it. So I wanted to make sure you get
thank
credit,
you for the correction.
So you don't get a demerit for that.
Okay, Rob, let's, before you bring the contract up, let's talk a little about 5, the funding source first.
Sure. Okay. The funding source for this project breaks down as such. $2.8 million is coming from the PGLP ECIA loan program. In the 2013 capital improvement for various park improvements, $3.5 million. Out of the 2013 capital improvements for various buildings, $253,000. Out of the open space trust fund, $750,000, and the Zoological Society, $250,000 totals the sum of the $7,553,000.
Okay, Mr. McInerney, before we, you have any questions?
No questions. Just this is something that we've discussed in the past. It's come. We've had meetings over this. I think we understand the funding formula. Part of this is obviously going to impact on the $20 million self-imposed authorization I mentioned earlier. We're kind of advancing that. As I said, though, in the past, I almost don't see it that way because the money's not going to be spent until 2014 anyway. Nonetheless, the authorization is given in 2013. The idea of the loan for 2.8 being paid back over 5 years, we had that meeting, Madam President, you attended, and one of the ideas was not to prolong payment on this and to make sure that we had a shorter term as to avoid any interest or any encumbrances of any additional funds. So that said, I think we've been over this a couple times. The contract's been let and it's before us for approval. So all the funding is in place.
Okay. Yes, Ralph.
Madam President, I don't normally correct Mr. McInerney, but on this particular matter, I think the advance that Mr. McInerney was talking about regarding 2014's capital, that's for the Public Works building coming later in the agenda, not for this particular project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Sebo, I see that funds will be using the Essex County Recreation Open Space.
Yes,
Do
and
you
we
wanna
had
comment
a
on that?
number of meetings, and we discussed all of these projects. There are many on the agenda tonight. All were discussed at the meetings, and in your packet, you'll find the minutes from July 29th, as well as the minutes from August 22nd, when all of these items were discussed in full at the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board meeting. And I will say that that Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo attends most of our meetings, and he discusses with us what he would like to do, and we discuss with him whether we approve of what he would like to do, and so forth. And I'd like to say that as it comes before you tonight, we are all in total agreement of what's before you, and I might add that all affirmative action requirements have been met. The source of funding has been met. Many people bid on the various projects. It goes from 4 for one and 8 for another and so on. And it was always to the pretty much the lowest responsible bidder. And we were very pleased with all of these projects. Thank you.
Very good. Additional comments, freeholders, we on resolution 5? No comments, no questions. We'll go to resolution 6. Authorization, and we talked about authorization to use the Essex County Recreation Open Space. We'll take the resolutions together as I stated earlier. No further questions, freeholders, on resolution 6. Resolution 29. No questions, no comments. Now we go to resolution 7. We have the contractor here. So Ralph, you can have him to speak at this time.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is James Uram. I'm from Bismarck Construction, located in Newark, New Jersey. We did several projects for Essex County before, like the boathouse. Right now we're in a process with the Newark Vortex School, and all our projects we make sure that it's be done in schedule and budget.
Okay. Ralph, how many bids did we have on this?
This, Madam President, I believe we had 4 bids that were received from 6 potential vendors.
Okay.
So we received 4.
And this was the lowest?
Yes, and I also would like to highlight to this board that Bismarck is not only an MBE, a minority business enterprise, but also a small business enterprise.
Okay. Okay, very good. Freeholders, question, comments, and we are taking resolutions 5, 6, 29, and 7 together. Question, comments? No questions, no comments? Thank you so much, sir, before we're about to take the vote on your contract. Thank you again for your presentation. Roll call, Madam Clerk. I need a mover and second. Moved by Freeholder Seabold. I have a second. Second by Freeholder Beasley. I have a mover and second. No further discussion, Freeholders. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley? Yes. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Seabold?
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay,
May I say
Madam
something?
Clerk, yes, Freeholder.
Thank
Vice
you. I
President
just wanted to
Seabold.
say one thing, but I wanted to wait until after the vote
Okay.
to make sure that it passed, because tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, there will be the groundbreaking for the recreation complex at Turtleback Zoo. And, am I correct? Tomorrow
9:30.
morning, 9:30 will be the press conference, and the governor is going to attend.
We believe so, yes.
Thank you. Perhaps some of you can be there. Thank you, Madam President.
Roll call. I'm sorry.
I was just adding.
Yes. Okay, let's go with the resolutions, 8, 9, and 10. And Madam Clerk, we'll read it into the record at a later time. Okay, 11 too?
Yeah,
Okay,
11
let's
goes
take
with
8,
it.
9, 10, and 11. Thank you, Mr. Pollard. Okay, we'll read it into the record at a later time. Ralph, you want to start explaining Resolution 8?
Resolution 8 is the authorization to utilize the Open Space Trust Fund to fund the construction of Hendricks and Weequahic Park Golf Course restrooms, amount not to exceed $156,916. Resolution number 9 is the contract award to Bismarck Construction, the lowest responsible bidder, for the renovations of the clubhouse restrooms at Weequahic and Hendricks Golf Course, 120 days contract. The scope of work will include ceramic tile on the wall and floors, restroom partitions, granite countertops and restroom accessories, automated sinks, toilets, and urinals, electrical work, including light fixtures, as well as finished carpentry, but not limited to chair rails, ground molding, interior doors, drop ceilings, and dry walls, as well as interior painting at both the Weequahic men's and women's restrooms and at Hendricks Field, the women's restroom. Resolution number 10, again, the authorization to utilize the Essex County Open Space Trust Fund to construct a Brookdale Park Roads Lighting Improvement Project, the amount of $455,600. And resolution number 11 is the actual contract award to CETA Construction, the lowest responsible bidder, for the construction of Brookdale Park Roadway Lighting Improvement Project. This will be a 90-day project, $455,600. We did receive 3 bids on this project, and the scope of work includes roughly the installation of 72 roadway lights within Brookdale Park, as well as the installation of 9 new pathway lights on selected pathways within Brookdale Park. And we also have the contractor from CETA with us this evening.
Okay, thank you. Let's discuss the resolution first, and then we'll bring the contract out. Freeholders, Resolution 8. Do you have any questions or comments? Nine.
Comment?
Yes.
I'm glad to see that they're moving forward with even the ladies' room at Weequahic, because for the past couple of years, the ladies' room has been really talked about by the ladies that play golf there at Weequahic Park, and I'm glad to see that they have the men's room included.
Freeholder, Vice President Seabold.
Thank you. I could just add also that I'm very pleased that work is being done at the golf courses. I remember not too long ago when Hendricks Field was rated in the newspaper as being rather low on the scale of golf courses, and those days are over. Our golf courses are have so much revenue coming in these days, and they're doing so well, and I'm so pleased that additional work is going to be done. And if you look at the August 22nd minutes, you'll see a lot of discussion about this. Thank you. Discussion on comments on resolution 10. I'm sorry, 10. Let's go to 10. Yes.
Thank you,
Freeholder
Madam
Gill.
President. Just a question on resolution number 10 and issue that's been raised by some of the constituents who live along Ralph, the end of Brookdale Park, which is more in its natural habitat. There's a path that runs along that way, and there's some lighting there, which also abuts some houses there, both in Bloomfield and I think it's Bloomfield and Glen Ridge right there. So with these new lights, and currently there's a few lights, but they're very dimly lit. Is it going to be brighter? Along that portion of the pathway with these new lights?
If I may call up Dennis Sedaya from Public Works, he could answer that question better than I could.
Dennis Daly, Assistant County Engineer. Yes, the lights will be bright, and we hope to illuminate the paths better to make them safe.
Right, but there would be no, which is great. And in terms of would that have any effect on any of the homes? Meaning, like the level of brightness. Is there some concern about how bright those lights are going to be? So, like meaning a homeowner that abuts the park wouldn't have to worry about these lights being too bright.
For you, Madam President, we have had in the past some occasions where that has happened, where there's been spillage into adjacent properties.
Right.
And when that's brought to our attention, we try to correct those things.
Okay.
So when we install the lights, if there's problems that the homeowner has after they're installed, if they bring them to our attention, we'll try to correct it and try to shadow or shade the lights so they don't, shine in backyards, shine in house windows.
Great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, additional questions, comments, freeholders? Okay, let's go to resolution 11. And the contractor before us is from Cedar Construction Company, am I correct? Do we have someone from Cedar? Okay. Very good. Okay, do you want to give, I think you've been before this board before, you've dealt with the county in the past?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You want to tell us again a little about your company? Oh, your name for the record, I'm sorry, and the company.
I just want to say I got phobia talking in front of people, so don't be shy. I don't like to talk in front of people.
Well, that's okay.
My name is Pepe,
and
I'm from Cedar Construction. I'm the general manager, and we done work for the county before, and we always do our work and always ahead of schedule. We never had any problems before, and we're here to do it again.
And your business is located where?
Cedar Construction is established over here in New Jersey and New York, both of the states.
I mean, where are you located, your business?
We are located in Wanacue. We are located in Goshen, New York.
Okay.
And also we are a DBE and WB and AMB.
Okay. Freeholders, additional questions while we have representative from Cedar present? No questions, freeholders? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No additional questions at this time, freeholders, then we'll ask for motion to take 8, 9, 10, and 11 together.
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Sebo. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Beasley. No further questions on 8, 9, 10, and 11. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla absent. Freeholder Park absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take resolution 12, 13, and 14 together. Is 15 with that? No.
15 goes with 14.
Yeah, 14 and 15. Okay, we read that and read resolution 12, 13, 14, and 15 at a later time, Madam Clerk. Ralph, you want to start with 12?
Yes, Madam. 12 is the Parks Department authorization to utilize the Essex County Recreation Open Space Trust Fund. This is for design services for the South Mountain Recreation Complex, PATS, as well as other improvements, amount not to exceed $106,924. Resolution 13 is the actual contract award to French and Perello for the construction, engineering, and inspection services for the Recreation Complex Reservoir Pathway Improvement Project. I guess the best way to explain this project is if you look at the Turtleback Zoo side of the reservoir, this is to design the pathways on the zoo side of the reservoir, as well as the installation or design of a new 80-foot span decorative bridge and a installation of a new 50-foot span decorative bridge. There'll be landscaping and tree as part of the design phase, a new pathway along the east side of the Orange Reservoir, and installation designs for trash receptacles and park benches. Resolution number 14 is the authorization to utilize the Essex County Recreation Trust Fund in the amount of $399,820 for the Essex County South Mountain Recreation Complex Walkway Improvement Project. And number 15 is the actual contract award to Schauger to actually do the improvements. For this particular project, this is the actual construction, and if you look at the reservoir, this would be on the paddle boat side of the Orange Reservoir. And this work will include the installation of 16 nautical themed poles mounted on pathway lighting, full depth milling and existing concrete, and installation of new concrete along that walkway, installation of approximately 2,000 linear feet of 4-foot high black chain link fencing, the reconstruction of approximately 100 feet of existing retaining wall, and the installation of electrical conduit, and the installation of site furnishing, which include trash receptacles and park benches.
Okay, for the record, Madam Clerk, Freeholder Bobadilla is present. Ralph, let's start with, we started with 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, Freeholder, let's ask, we open the floor for questions, comments on Resolution 12. Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
I would just add that our county administrator explained the project fully. The county executive was at our meeting on August 22nd, and he went over the whole project with us, and you certainly explained it very clearly if there are any questions about the situation. I think that this project is a wonderful project. We're bringing in tremendous revenue at South Mountain Reservation now that the zip line is open and everything is working there. It's unbelievable how many people are going to South Mountain Reservation and the amount of revenue that's coming in, because the projects are absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, additional comments, questions on Resolution 12? 13, freeholders.
Madam President, we also have the
French and Perello.
French and Perello here, as well as the contractor representative from Sugar in the audience.
Okay, let's bring up.
French and Perello?
French and Perello.
If I call
first.
Mike Picker, please.
Yes. Good evening. Could you state your name for the record and the name of your company?
My name is Mike Pega. I work with French and Perello. I'm the landscape architect for them.
Okay, you want to tell us a little about your firm?
Our firm has been around for over 30 years. We have our main base is out of Wall Township. We've worked on multiple projects up at Essex County, going from Weequahic Park over to the Turtleback Zoo. Does this work? Recently, we worked on the zip lines and we worked on the pavilion. So you've seen some of our work that we have accomplished recently.
Very good. Okay, and the dollar amount we have here, 106,924. That's just for the professional service for the design. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay. Okay, Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
I just might add that I'm very familiar with the work that he is doing, and it's been just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. No additional questions, freeholders? Okay, thank you for your comments and giving us the additional information about your company.
Thank you very much.
You. Okay, you want to bring up the next?
Representative from Sugar.
Sugar.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Clarence Nathaniel Scanius III. I represent the Sugar Group, Sugar Property Services. We've also been in business for over 30 years. We're located in East Orange, New Jersey. We're also a WB company. We've done a lot of different projects up at Turtleback Zoo, the boat launch pavilion, the recent treetop zip line course. We've also done the children's playground, miniature golf course. So a lot of the businesses that are building revenue currently, we've constructed those. We're very pleased to be, hopefully, finger crossed, being awarded this project and continuing to excel. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, before you sit down, Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Thank you. I would be incorrect if I didn't say that the Sugar Company does terrific work, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and additional comments, freeholders? And I don't think we have to ask the question, do you hire the makeup of your employees? I think we all aware of that.
Yes, I believe most of our public bids, we do have a large employee percentage that live in Essex County. I believe it's around 49 or 54% of our company. We also do employ a lot of minorities and women as well.
Very good. Okay, additional questions, freeholders? None? Thank you again for your comments and sharing information again about the company. Thank you.
Thank you.
Freeholders, we have no questions or comments on 12, 13, 14, and 15. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
A second moved by Vice President Sebo, second by Freeholder Gill.
I'll second.
Okay, additional discussion, none. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take 16, 17, 18, and we'll stop there. 19 and 20. We might as well take 20. Okay, we're going to take 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Yes, Freeholder Bobadilla?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but I just
No
want to record my vote in the affirmative for resolutions 1 through 3 and 5 through 11.
Okay.
Resolution 4 was withdrawn, correct?
Yes, we are on 14 and 15. You want to? cast your vote? Did you cast your vote on?
Yes, I did.
That. So up to 11 is what you want to cast your vote in the affirmative.
Okay, thank you.
They have it. Thank you, Freeholder. Yes.
21 goes with 20, so I don't know if you want to add it or just drop 20.
Okay, no, let's add it.
Okay, so add 21.
Let's add 21. So, yeah.
16 and 21 together.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. We're going to do them all together. So 16 through 21, and we'll read them into the record at a later time. Ralph, we want to start. Mr. Shallow?
16 is the Recreation Department of Parks authorization to utilize the Essex County Recreation Open Space Trust Fund to fund consulting services to provide preliminary assessment reports for various park projects, amount not to exceed $17,500. As part of the Green Acres project requirement, for every project, a preliminary assessment report is required. Traditionally, when we have A&E contracts that design Green Acres projects, this assessment is part of their contract. However, for some of the projects that are designed in-house out of our Department of Public Works, this function is not has not been provided. We need to provide this service, and we are looking to go out for this service to provide this preliminary assessment so that we could have all of the Green Acre requirements met for each project. Resolution number 17 is Department of Public Works contract award to Brockwell and Carrington Contractors, the lowest responsible bidder for the construction of our new Public Works building. Roughly 300 days to complete this project, amount not to exceed $8,329,000. As you know, we have discussed this project at various work sessions with the freeholders. All of the funds have been already inserted into the budget, or certification of funds has already occurred. Mr. McInerney alluded to this particular project. We are actually utilizing $7.5 million of 2014 capital allocation for this project, as well as as part of the 2013 capital, $829,000. We did receive 6 bids from 9 potential bidders. The scope of work is basically a new public works facility building that would house the following departments: our roads and bridges, fleet management, environmental, as well as a boardroom for the public hearings. The new service area for the Public Works building will include 8 vehicle service bays. There'll be storage space for parts. And it'll also include a tire shop, a repair shop, a welding shop, traffic and signals repair shop, a sign shop, as well as our previous project that we spoke about, our Turtleback Zoo Educational Building. This too is also a PLA, commonly known as a project labor agreement, is part of this contract. We do have the vendor with us this evening. Resolution number 18 is Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, contract award to Shawger Property Services, the lowest responsible bidder, for the renovations of the county's Office of Emergency Management space, a 90-day contract, amount not to exceed $380,874.45. I should highlight that this is work that is being addressed as part of damages that were incurred during Sandy, and this is entirely grant funded, this project. Resolution number 19, Department of Public Works, Division of Buildings and Grounds, contract award to T. Farisi and Sons, TA Direct Waste Services, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, for the collection and disposal of garbage and rubbish for the period of September 26, 2013 through September 25, 2015, in the amount not to exceed $999,665.40. This is for roll-off, open, as well as containers and compactors that are utilized throughout the county. It also includes disposable fees. Resolution number 20, Department of Public Works, Division of Roads and Bridges, contract extension with Perillo Incorporated for welding, structural, and mechanical services for the Jackson Street Bridge, Bridge Street Bridge, Clay Street Bridge, as part of the Essex-Hudson County Shared Services Agreement. Amount not to exceed $30,000 is Essex County share. This contract was led by Hudson, and 50% of this contract is the county's responsibility. And Resolution 21, Department of Public Works, Division of Roads and Bridges. This too also is a contract extension with Longo Electrical Mechanical to provide for electrical services for the Jackson Street Bridge, Bridge Street Bridge, and Clay Street Bridge. This too is a shared services with Hudson County. Hudson led this contract out, and Essex County share is $30,000.
Okay. Freeholders, let's start with Resolution 16 for questions, comments. And again, this is dollars coming from the Essex County Recreation Open Space Trust Fund to fund the consultant service for this particular project. So no questions, no comments. We'll move to Resolution 17. This is a contract award to Brockwell. Would you call Brockwell and Carrington contractors up, please?
Certainly.
I'm Stephen Williams. I represent Brockwell and Carrington.
Okay, you want to tell us a little about your company, please?
We are a SB contractor. We're located in Towacco, New Jersey. Although we've never done any work for Essex County before, we've completed numerous projects of comparable or larger in size.
Let's give a briefing on what you think your role will be in completing this contract for the county. I mean, exactly what will you be doing?
Excuse me, I'm sorry?
Just give us just a brief preview of what you will be doing with this contract.
We are a general contractor. We do self-perform work as well, so we will be performing our own masonry and carpentry work. There will be, we are a union contractor as well in those trades, subcontracting out the electrical, mechanical, and site work portions, as well as the building, which is a modular building.
Okay. Before you sit down, let me see if we have any questions from the freeholders. Freeholders, questions, comments? Freeholder Vice President Seabold.
Thank you. This is a very large project, and you indicated you haven't done any work in Essex County before, but you've done work in many other places. Have you done projects of this size?
Yes. We've done work in Essex County. As a matter of fact, we did work renovations over at the Cedar Grove High School right up the street. That was a $7 million contract. We've completed 2 projects successfully at Montclair University, a $22 and a $30 million job, which was the Cali School of Music and a dormitory, and various school projects throughout the state.
And you're used to projects of this size. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, I think a rep indicated that this was PLA. What unions do you plan to use on this job?
Excuse me?
Do you have particular unions that you will be using?
Yeah, well, there are local unions for each of the trades that they'll be pulling manpower from.
That would be for all the complete project, or just?
Complete project. With the PLA, all trades, all work will be performed by union contractors, union tradesmen.
And you won't be bringing in any subcontractors, everything would be union?
No, yeah, well, the subcontractors we'll bring in will also be, are also union contractors, so they will be utilizing the same workforce from each of the respective unions.
Okay. Okay, additional question, freeholders? None? Okay, thank you for giving us the additional information.
Thank you.
In reference to your company. Okay, let's go with 18 freeholders. I don't think we have to call that contract up again. No questions, no comments. Let's move to Resolution 19. And this is $999. We need to call this contract up.
We do have a representative from
Very
T. Farisi and Sons.
Good evening. John Ganello, owner and operator of T. Farisi, trading as Direct Waste, third generation company founded in 1958, Essex County, Belleville. Now we are in Newark for the last 28 years. Service County of Essex for the last 2 years. UFD&J, Rutgers, Newark Museum, Hyde Park Gardens. The list goes on and on. Society Hill. Primarily an Essex County contractor. All our employees are 85 to 90% from the county, hired from within, and I'm doing it 28 years myself, so you're right.
Okay, Freeholders, questions, comments? None? Okay, thank you, Mr. Ganello? Ganello. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, let's go with 20 and 21. Freeholders, question, comments on 20 and 21? No questions? No comments? Okay, do I have a mover and second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Vice President Sebold and second by Freeholder Beasley. No further questions on, we taken 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 together. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take 22, 23, and we read the resolution to the record at a later time. Mr. Shirley, you want to start with 22?
22 is the Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Purchasing. This is for a licensing agreement for parking for a prosecutor or county council or superior court employees that are located down at the Gibraltar building. This is for 35 parking spaces. It's $200 per space per month, and this is Monday through Friday, and the amount is not to exceed $84,000. I would like to point out that this is the same exact cost as last year. There's been no increase. And resolution number 23, again, Office of Purchasing. This is for parking for handicap court employees, again located at the Willens Justice Complex. This is for 13 parking spaces, roughly $200 per month. And this too is the same rate as last year, and both are coming out of the operating budgets.
Very good. Okay, Freeholders, question, comments on 22 and 23? No questions, no comments. Do I have a mover, second? Freeholder Beasley moved it. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam Clerk.
Second by Freeholder Luciano. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's move to resolutions 24 through 28, all resolutions, commendations, and I'll move resolution 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Beasley. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Madam Clerk, do we have any added starter resolutions?
Madam President, we've already taken care of Resolution 29. We have an introduction of ordinance number 1.
If you want to read that for us, please.
Ordinance amending Ordinance O-1988-00039, establishing the Essex County Veterans Advisory Board.
Okay, Mr. Shearer, please explain the resolution and tell the board why you're asking for action on this tonight.
Yes, Madam President, it's actually introduction, and this resolution, or this ordinance, I should say, is actually, we're amending it because the original ordinance that was approved back in 1988 had a 15-member board. However, there was no indication of defined terms for their members. Likewise, the Board of Chosen Freeholders had no representation on that board in the original ordinance. What this ordinance will do is we are requesting 3-year terms. The inaugural members will be staggered. 5 members will serve 1-year terms, 5 members will serve 2-year terms, and 5 members will serve 3-year terms, as well as this Board of Chosen Freeholders will have 2 members representative on this Essex County Veterans Advisory Board.
Very good. Freeholders, do you have any questions or comments on this ordinance? None? Okay, do I have a motion and second to introduce the ordinance?
I'll move.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, if any of the freeholders would like to make recommendations to have someone serve on this committee, I'm sorry, on this board, please contact Ralph and give the name of the individual, and we'll make sure that we have representative from the board. We will have 2 representatives from the board, but we will have recommendations for individuals to sit on the advisory board coming from the freeholder board. Okay? And I will appoint, after this ordinance is passed, I will appoint 2 individuals from the freeholders to sit on the, as advisory to this board, to represent the freeholder side. Okay, Madam Clerk, now let's go back to comments from the public comment. I'm sorry, report on board committees. Do we have any reports from the any of the committees? Legislative reports, a written communication, unfinished business, new business. Public comment session. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to comment at this time? Please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. She wanted, yeah, take a push, yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Viva White. My address is 152 Court Street. In my affiliation, I'm an Essex County resident. Y'all can hear me okay?
Yes, we
I don't hear
can.
myself, okay. So my concern is about the death that occurred in Essex County Correctional Facility. I think because it is, the freeholders do have oversight and budget, and just a couple of weeks ago, I read in the paper how the correctional facility just recently got some accreditation, but when I saw it in the paper, I even questioned it about all the issues that go on down there, and someone dying while in custody is really a travesty, and I just want to request that the freeholders take more of an interest. I haven't been to meetings in a while, and I know the last time I was here, I know our freeholder Johnson had went down there to make a visit, but I think, you know, they may know y'all coming. Y'all just need to really surprise them and come to really see how things are, and really look at, because we know in different communities there more violence around Essex County, and when they're housed together, we have to take that in to consideration too, that we don't have events of this nature, because it's really a tragedy to everyone involved, the perpetrator and the person that was murdered.
Okay, thank you for your comments, and as usual, we will respond to you with your concerns about the death in the jail. I don't know if we're able to release that information yet. Mr. Sherla, I don't know if we're able to release information because it's still under investigation, but we will respond to her give her as much information as we can about it.
You are correct. I know it's under investigation by our prosecutor's office, so until such time that investigation is complete, there's really nothing that we can release at this point in time.
Okay. Okay, and thank you for your comment.
Good evening, Douglas Freeman, Southport 44th District Leader. Madam President, first I'd like to thank you for the advisory board for the veterans. Secondly, we spoke with Freeholder Jerry Owens' office, and we want to bring back some type of parades for our veterans, and we wanted to do it on Chancellor Avenue with the band from Weekway and different groups, and so we can show our veterans how much we appreciate them. And we wanted to acknowledge 50 local veterans within Weekway Park, where Dan Savanti gave us a brand new flag, and we acknowledged 5 veterans on Memorial Day, but we want to do 50. And if we can meet with the advisory board, we'll appreciate it, so we can get the planning going, so we can celebrate our veterans in the right way. Thank you.
Again, and thank you for your comments.
Clarence Jackson, Commander, Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 3, Newark, New Jersey. I'd just like to commend the freeholders and the administration for what they've done as far as honoring veterans with the Veterans Advisory Committee. You know, back in 1988, the original ordinance was put through on a request from me to the Freeholder Board, and I'm finally grateful to see it come to fruition now. Thank you very much.
Okay. And thank you for bringing this to our attention, and hopefully we'll have the board in place within the next couple of weeks. Thank you. Just come, your name?
Dan Gilman, 14 Alcott Drive, Livingston, New Jersey. I'm an aide to Freeholder Luciano. I'm sure everyone's aware that it's Patriots Day, September 11th. And, you know, just United Airlines Flight 93. United Airlines Flight 93 left from Newark International. And one story that gets a lot of press, but maybe not enough recently, is the courage of people like Todd Beamer, who were able to stop the airplane from hitting the White House. And I just wanted to take a second to recall the courage of those passengers of United Airlines 93, and that, you know, I was with 13 at the time, and it never felt like anything would be normal again. But here we are having freeholders meetings and business meetings, and just want to kind of take a second to think about that. So thank you.
Thank you. And at the beginning of our meeting, we did acknowledge all that passed away, but just thank you for bringing that to our attention about the airlines. Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak at this time? None. And we'll go into freeholder comment session at this time. Do we have anyone from freeholders? Yeah, Freeholder Bobadilla.
I just want to introduce everybody and my colleagues to somebody in the audience who is, you know, a district leader in District 4 in the North Ward, and he actually made history a couple of years ago when he was the first Newark Housing tenant president at the age of 20. And so I just wanted to acknowledge Marquis Singleton, who's sitting in the back.
Okay, what's the name again? I think I remember.
He is a dedicated, true community activist, dedicated to his community and to anything that is good for our society.
Very good. Thank you, and welcome to our meeting, and we look to have you attend all the sessions, meetings with us. Thank you. Okay, do we have any other comments, freeholders? No additional comments? We will respond to the questions from our August 21st meeting. Freeholder Guild did ask for a list of all the conservancy partnership agreements and whether or not the county monitors their fundraising activities. That memo was sent to the administration, and we did receive a response. Freeholder Guild, you should have that response in your office. And Freeholder Watson asked for the total amount of funding the sheriff has received from Homeland Security this year. The memo was sent to the administration on the 22nd, response on the 3rd. Freeholder Watson asked how much the county spent for deer culling program this year. And the memo was sent to the administration on the 22nd. And on the 3rd, we received a response that we will discuss the deer population at the deer population meeting on September 16th. And I'm sure the dollar amount will be discussed at that time. Freeholder Clark asked if a school board is included in the scope of the project. Freeholder Rufus Johnson asked to be invited to any meeting where the possible rebidding of this project to include a school board is discussed. I think we did receive a response from the administration indicating that the school board was, I think it was included in the original project. Freeholder Clark suggested that the hiring of Essex County residents from apprenticeship program should be included to vendor contract for parks. The memo was sent to the administration on the 22nd, response 9-3. Currently being researched, a meeting has been set for September 16th. President Watson asked the administration to research the matter, including the legality of including such requirements in bids and to include Freeholder Counsel Michael Polivecchio and budget consultant Frank McInerney in those discussions. That meeting, I don't think we have scheduled yet. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay, so we need to get that meeting scheduled. Okay, thank you. Freeholder Clark suggests that the board and the administration work together to formulate an effort and identify community partners to help inform county residents about the upcoming October open enrollment for the affordable health care. And I think we agreed that we will look into that, that information to work with the administration. The memo was sent to the administration on the 2nd of August, and the response came back on 9-3. Public comment session. Darlene Reeves from Vine Avenue in Irvington asked if the resolution number 6 program is available to high school students transitioning to college. The memo was sent to the administration. The response we received on the 3rd, and the letter was sent to Ms. Reeves, the response letter sent to Ms. Reeves on 9-4. Mr. Freeman spoke about the potential tennis program at Wheatley Park and introduced Beth Tutty of TGA of Morris and Essex counties, who described her company's program. And Ms. Watson suggested that a meeting of the board's Recreation Oversight Committee be held to learn more about Ms. Tutty's program. The response, we will discuss the recreation oversight in the committee meeting to be scheduled, and Madam Clerk, we make sure that that meeting is scheduled.
Those are one of the 2 meetings that
We need to schedule. Yes, we have 2 meetings to schedule. Rodney White, Duran Place in Irvington, stated that many of the plates at the bottom of the streetlight poles along both sides of Springfield Avenue to the Irvington bus terminal are missing and wires exposed. The memo was sent to the administration for a response. The administration responded on 9-3, and the letter was sent out to Mr. White the response letter sent to Mr. White on 9/4. Mr. McBee of 46 Duran Place in Irvington stated that efforts must be made to curtail rampant crime. We referred the concerns to the office of the Essex County Sheriff Department. Miss Eloise McDaniel of 214 Nesbitt Terrace spoke about the condition of some county roads within Irvington and asked if there are any plans to repair them. She also expressed the hope that money allocated for Turtleback Zoo is used to properly care for the animals. The memo was sent to the administration 22nd, response on the 3rd, and the response letter was sent to Miss McDaniel on 9/4. That ends our Freeholder question and public comment session. Freeholder Seabold, and I'll come back to you, Freeholder Gill.
Thank you very much. This morning, there was an extraordinary memorial service for the 11th year in a row at Eagle Rock Reservation. And I want to thank the president of the Freeholder Board for calling that to the attention of everyone when we had a moment of silence at the beginning of this meeting for the absolutely horrific situation which occurred 12 years ago. So thank you, Madam President.
Do we have Freeholder Gill?
Thank you, Madam President. I concur with Freeholder Siebel. I thought the ceremony this morning was somber, but it was tremendous turnout. It's good to see that 12 years later that people are still taking the time to make sure that we honor those who gave their lives in 2011. I did want to just quickly address the issue of the Deer Committee meeting, which will be held on the 16th, that I am the chair of. I have received, and I think some of my other colleagues who serve on the committee have received feedback from constituents who were concerned about the scheduling of the subcommittee meeting, and I wanted to just put on the record that I think it's important for the residents and constituents who are very concerned about this issue to understand that the scheduling of the subcommittee meeting would in no way, if this board so chooses, affect the timing of the hunt and the process. So I think that was just an important issue to raise for those people. You know, it's a passionate issue, and we hear from people on both sides of that issue, but there was definitely concern expressed that the action taken at the last meeting to schedule this subcommittee meeting would affect the timing, and I wanted to be clear as far as my understanding, and I think that was asked during the meeting, that the scheduling of the subcommittee meeting will in no way affect the hunt if this board so chooses to go forward with it.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, additional comments for freeholders? No additional comments? Okay, then no additional comments. Motion to adjourn. So moved.